Hey, welcome back to my channel. This is my Discover 2 from Velotric. I love this bike. I've wanted to do a video about it for a while and why it's such a great bike, why you should definitely consider it if you're looking for a commuter bike, just an all-around fun bike that is a blast to ride. It does a lot of things very well, and we're going to talk about it in this video. And just so you know, this is not my first e-bike. I have owned 4 other e-bikes before this. This bike just checks off all the boxes for me. Comfort, power, maneuverability, everything. I'm going to talk about it in this video. I'm also going to go over the specs very briefly. I know that's been done on a lot of different videos, so I'll try not to focus too much on the specs, but what I love so much about this bike and why I love riding it. So stick around. So what drew me to this bike? What made me purchase the Velotric Discover 2? Well, let me real quickly, I'll go over some of the specs without getting into too much detail. It's got a 750 watt rear hub motor with 1200 watts of peak power. It has 75 Newton meters of torque. It does have Tektro hydraulic disc brakes with 180 millimeter rotors front and rear. Perfect brakes for this bike, for the weight and the power. One really cool thing about this bike, and something that drew me to it, was it came equipped with a torque sensor. You know, there's basically 2 kinds of sensors on e-bikes. There are cadence sensors and there are torque sensors. Cadence sensors, basically, I like to call them an on-off switch. When you're pedaling and the crank arms are spinning, the motor just applies power based on what pedal assist level you're in. It's not hard to pedal. It just gives you power based on what pedal assist level you're in, determines how much power you get from the motor. With a torque sensor, it measures how hard you're pressing on the pedals and gives you assistance based on that, and also what pedal assist level you're in. But it's very intuitive, it's very natural feeling. It just feels like you're riding a regular bike, but with assistance. And of course, depending on what pedal assist level you're in, you can adjust it. You know, for very little assistance, you can even turn it off if for some reason you want to pedal without power. This bike has 3 power levels. It's got Eco, Trail, and Boost. And then it has 5 levels of pedal assist within each of those power levels. So if you think about it, it's got 15 levels of pedal assist, which might sound like overkill. I really like it because if I'm on a flat trail with very little hills, I can put it in an eco mode, pedal assist 2 to 5, and it'll conserve battery power. But I will say that trail mode is kind of my happy spot, my happy place. Trail mode from pedal assist 3 to 5, really, and that's where I like to ride, I would say. And I can't say that it really uses that much more battery power than Eco does, which is really cool. What really makes this bike shine is the mileage you can get from it. I want to say earlier this year, Velotric did a firmware update to the bike that allows you to toggle between torque sensor and cadence sensor mode, which is really, really cool. Another thing they did recently was they did another firmware update a few months ago that lets you toggle between torque sensor and cadence sensor modes on the fly. Before this update, you had to pull over, go into the menu on the display or on the app here and change it. Now you can literally just press a button and hold it. You have to be moving, you don't have to be pedaling, but the bike does have to be moving. The downside to that, I will tell you, is that you will definitely use more battery quicker. in cadence sensor mode versus torque sensor mode. Another thing I love about this bike that is great for my 62-year-old eyes is this huge display. I think it's 3.5 inches diagonally. It's got a lot of information. It'll give you battery percentage, of course, which power level you're in, whether your headlight is on or off, the pedal assist level. You can also toggle in between these modes. It'll tell you your trip distance, time on the bike, motor temperature, controller temperature, max speed, average speed, calories you burned, CO2 you burned, and also the odometer reading, how many miles you've had on the bike since you got it. Alright, so I'm approaching a hill here. I am pedaling, but again, you don't have to be pedaling, but the bike does need to be moving. I'm going to press and hold the M button. I've just gone into cadence sensor mode, and right now I'm not applying any effort to the pedals. I'm just spinning my legs, and you can see it's getting me up this hill with no problem. So you can use it sparingly and you won't just go through your battery as quickly. I'm now going to press and hold the M button again. Now I'm back in torque. You could ride that way all the time in cadence sensor mode if you want to, if you want a much more relaxed riding experience. Maybe you're not riding as many miles on a single charge, but it definitely will go through your battery quicker. It's just amazing that they've done this firmware update and allow you to do that on the fly. See, I do really like the Velotric app. Of course, it gives you a lot of information. It kind of coincides with what the display shows. You can see that I'm in trail mode, pedal assist 5. It's also recording the ride. You can share the ride information with other Velotric owners. It also shows the battery percentage here, the path that I've ridden, and you can save it at the end of the ride, and you'll have a catalog of how many rides you've taken and the stats for each ride. And of course, firmware updates, you would do this through the app as well. I'm coming up on another big hill here. I think I'll kick it back into cadence sensor mode just to give you one more example of what this can do. Boom. Now I'm in cadence sensor mode. Yeehaw. Flying up this hill. Okay, I'm pressing and holding the M. Now I'm back in torque sensor mode. I also like the branding that Velotric puts on this bike. Of course, it's got Velotric on the down tube here, but there's also other points like in the chain stays where that mentions the power system, etc. It just looks really cool, and to me it just kind of speaks to their level of detail and how much they care about their bikes. And something I may have already mentioned, but I think this is just a good looking bike. It's just looks good going down the road. You'll definitely get a lot of compliments. It's just a nice looking bike. One other really cool feature I'm going to show you of the Discover 2 is it has cruise control. And the way this works is, let's say you're pedaling along. Again, the bike needs to be moving. You're at a comfortable speed, and maybe you just don't want to pedal. You just want to relax for a little bit. Okay, so I'm at 12 miles an hour. You just press and hold this button on the bottom of the display, and now it's in cruise control. It's going to hold that speed roughly between 11.5, 12 miles an hour, right about where I was going when I was pedaling. And it'll just hold you at that speed. And the way you cancel that is just squeeze the brake, either brake lever, and that'll turn it off. How cool is that? So I hope you'll check out the Discover 2 at your local bike shop or online. It's a wonderful bike. I can't recommend it enough. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Bye-bye.